were supposed to leave Spokane today and head out to City of Rocks, but as it turned out, my prescriptions were delayed. So in order to resupply on my insulin means we have 1 day extra here and we're going to be leaving tomorrow morning. But it's worth it to get some of this wonderful insulin and have that fresh for the next part of the journey ahead. Can't complain about that, although I did manage to go to the wrong pharmacy, and so they didn't have my prescription, and we ran around a whole bunch. I shot a little bit more film, and I actually finished off the roll that was in my Nikon. So I have a couple of film cameras, I have a couple of 35mm cameras, and I have a medium format camera. And what I do is I typically load all my cameras up with film, usually TX400, and then I just shoot each camera until it's done, and then I wait till I cycle through all my cameras before I get my film developed. That way I'm developing it in batches. And so it's always kind of like a process to go through each camera and get each camera fully shot. And then I kind of forget what's on each one of those rolls, so then when I get them developed, it's like a nice surprise. So I'm looking forward to that because I have almost all of my film shot, and I have a handful of rolls of film that go back from the last year or so that I'm going to be getting developed hopefully in the next month. So that's kind of an exciting thing happening here. Another thing I wanted to point out that's going on. This just arrived. This is the AdventureRx Journal Volume 1. So looking through it, this is kind of a intro to the AdventureRx with some of my earliest photos from when I started climbing and photographing, and kind of a little bit of the backstory. And some of these are little stories about what happened in the places that we were. And then some of them are a little bit more about, you know, inspirational quotes and things that relate to, if I can get the autofocus to lock on here. Great things are done when men and mountains meet. This is not done by jostling in the street. William Blake, 1808. The dirtbag culture was alive and well even in the 1800s, it seems. So there's a lot. We have 50 pages of little photo stories in here. And this is how we're supporting the work that we're doing, or at least part of it. A lot of the support, honestly, for the work that I'm doing here through the AdventureRx is just me working. And that has been kind of an interesting struggle that's been going on, trying to find that balance of being able to keep putting out videos and content, keep climbing and taking care of myself physically, while also being able to do the work that pays. But since I'm still doing work, I'm writing actually right now I'm doing freelance work as a writer. Since I was out getting insulin at the Target where they had the pharmacy, I couldn't pass up an opportunity to get myself a nice new notebook, which I have a thing for moleskin notebooks, and especially the big ones. They're just like, I don't know, I get really inspired and psyched when I get a new empty notebook that is just ready to be filled with awesome ideas and content and stories. And so this is going to be for some of the projects that I have coming up for my freelance work. Our friend Linda, whose house we're staying at here, it's called Bengal Spice, and Charlie Baden, the blend master who came up with this, is a genius. Blend masters do not get enough credit for what they do, because this tea tastes like drinking cookies. It is so delicious. And so I always have a couple of cups of it a day, and it doesn't have any caffeine, so I don't have to worry about getting jitters. I throw a bunch of coconut oil in with that, and I'm good to go. So Lilo has been teaching herself how to swim since we've been out here at the lake. No lie, while I've been trying to process and collect all of the media that I got out in the bugaboos. She has been taking this opportunity to just teach herself how to basically swim. She's not swimming without flotation devices yet, but she's getting close. She's went from a noodle and a life jacket, and she ditched the noodle, so now she's just like going for it with no noodle in the water. And so we've got a couple hours of daylight left here on the lake, and I think that I am going to end this video here and head out on the water while I still have a little bit more time, because we're going to be heading to City of Rocks in Idaho from here, which by the name you can probably tell it is not a lake, and it's going to be a while before I see this much water again. And City of Rocks is wonderful, awesome climbing, but it is high desert, so this is something that I don't want to miss out on. All of our adventures mean something. They're all part of a story that we are telling ourselves. And not all adventures are big, they're not all great, they're not all spectacular, they're not all photogenic, but they're a part of a story where we're telling ourselves that yes, we can overcome these challenges, we can deal with these obstacles, even if it just means going and trying to find the right drugstore to get your insulin so that you can get back on the road so that you can go climbing. It's all part of a bigger story that we're involved in, and I'm excited to have you along as part of this, and I would love it if you were subscribed to this channel and join us. If you want to get your hands on some of the printed work of mine, you can do that by visiting the Patreon link below here. Not pushing, if you're not interested in supporting financially, if that's not right for you right now, you can always go to our website and sign up for our email list, which is 100% free, and that way you will get all of the new content that we are creating delivered right to your inbox for free. You won't have to go hunting for it, and it's right there for you, and then that way you don't miss a thing. And when we have movies and ebooks and events and things like that that are coming out and happening, you'll know about it at the first moment that that stuff becomes available.